Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing the Toyota Tundra Rally Edition. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Toyota here in Murray for giving me some time with this truck. I'll include a link to their website in the description down below. I'll also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. So powering this is the standard twin-turbo 3.4-liter V6. It goes through a 10-speed, so fuel economy 17 around town and then 22 on the highway. Power output's 389 horsepower and then 479 pound-feet of torque. Now before I move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So let's take a look at this truck. First off, you've got the Heritage Toyota colors there on the front end. Really cool. Fog lights down below, and so other than that, front end's pretty normal. And then the wheels, you basically have what look like to be the TRD wheels, but then again Heritage Toyota logo there in the center. And speaking of TRD, you get the TRD off-road suspension, so the Bilstein shocks with this truck. And then again with another little logo, and you can see that whole setup there in the rear and with the Bilstein shocks. So this is going to have a stance that's identical to a TRD off-road Tundra, which I don't think is a bad thing. That looks good. And then in the bed area, for those of you that are wondering, this one does have the liner, so definitely a nice thing to have. Gun outlet lights as well. And then I think this might be, yeah, fully automatic, which is pretty cool. Definitely a nice feature. You got a little kick step as well. And then the interior I think is probably the coolest part with this. So just like my Heritage Edition Land Cruiser, you've got the kind of like bronze stitching, and then that continues onto the seats as well with that stitching. And then in the center of the seat you can see again with the colors there. That's pretty cool. Again, they actually continue in the stitching now that I see it throughout. So it's just the door panel that's kind of more, I guess it's more yellow than bronze. Just depends on how the lighting hits it. And if we look up front, so I guess in the door panel they just do all yellow, but on the seats they'll switch things up a little bit. And these are nice seats. These are kind of like the loaded up seats. Some things this has that aren't as loaded up is it's got the mostly analog gauge cluster, as you can see, but you do get the bigger screen, which is nice. And then you get the TRD shifter, which is pretty cool. And then being basically an off-road, you do get the rear locking differential with multi-terrain select, crawl control, all of that. And again with the center console, it's pretty cool in the dash there. And then my favorite part is the steering wheel. You get the TRD Pro steering wheel. So TRD there at the bottom, you get the marker at the top, got the nice trim all around. So that's nice. And then also the pedals upgrade. Now this does come at a cost. So this is built off of an SR5, which is kind of Toyota's entry level for the Tundra. This package is $8,660. So yeah, it ain't cheap. Total MSRP is $63,244. And let's take it out. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Visibility all throughout. And let's set off. I really like this interior. It's like the trim is nice on the seats, and it just looks cool. It looks cool. I would be down to get one of these if they did this in the new Land Cruiser, like a new Heritage Edition. And they did, I mean, can't go too crazy with the colors, but if they added some of this stuff to it, I think it would work. I think it would work. It's a nice ride. It is a nice ride. Yeah, good punch right off the bat. Now this doesn't have the hybrid, so it's not quite as torquey, but it still has some get up and go. And when I say some, I mean it's still solid. It's still a turbo V6 with almost 500 pound-feet of torque. And look at that. it's a solid engine when it comes to acceleration. And the new Tundra's, it's nice. It's less truck-like compared to the old one. And what I mean by that is, you know, handling's better, right? It's softer over the bumps. Turn-in's just better. It just feels less like top-heavy compared to the old Tundra. And part of that's the new one actually has less clearance, funny enough. But yeah, it just handles quite well on road. And this is so weird seeing this steering wheel in this truck. I mean, imagine this. Imagine if Ford put a Raptor steering wheel in, I don't know, an F-150 with the FX4 off-road special edition package, right? You do an FX4 off-road with special edition. That would be kind of funny, right? So it's interesting that Toyota's doing that. TRD Pro is still the TRD Pro, but you know, half the reason why people will get stuff is because of the looks of certain things like this. Maybe that'll be the big selling point on this package. Yeah, you know, this engine ain't too bad without the hybrid. Thing is, Toyota just does those hybrids so well that it's kind of hard to overlook them now. So I guess to sum things up here with this rally package, I think it looks pretty cool. Definitely understated on the exterior. I mean, again, it's got nice wheels. It's got some Heritage logos. But they didn't go too crazy with it on the exterior. And some of you might like that. Some of you might like that it's a little bit more understated. Because remember with the 4Runner when they did the 40th anniversary and the Heritage logo was like, boom, the entire side of the car? So maybe Toyota's kind of like, oh, we're going to be a little bit more conservative this time. We won't use a little bit of a smaller paintbrush, or a little bit of a smaller sticker. Because I'm pretty sure it's stickers. But either way, it's a cool package, and I think that, does this have the front camera? Yeah, it does, 360 camera. I think if you're basically looking for, okay, 63 grand. This is, darn, actually, I was gonna say, if you're looking for a pretty good value with a special edition, it's not too bad, but this is so close in price to a limited TRD off-road, and that has cooled seats as well. But I mean, if you did a limited with the options, you're like 70 grand. So this is still less, and it's got some nice features. So I'd say it's still pretty good value for a special edition. It's not like going too crazy. And it has the heated steering wheel too. So it's not going too crazy. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this package. I think overall it's pretty cool. It's got a lot of the loaded up features. It's got this nice feel with the interior because of the, you know, fancy stitching and all that. I will say this does look out of place when you see like the kind of bronze yellow and then you go to the red on the steering wheel. It's very different from coloration on the Heritage logo. So this is a little bit out of place, but it's still cool. Anyways, let me know your thoughts.